Alright, this is Shalimar Bob, beautiful Shalimar, Florida. And today, I'm going to show you all how we're going to put this Yak Attack LeverLok anchor trolley system onto my kayak. It's pretty easy installation, and I think you'll like it. I know a lot of people are scared about drilling into their kayaks, but we're going to put it on my Predator 13 from Old Town Angler. And we're going to run it along, and it's right about there. We're going to go all the way down, right about there. And what it does, it allows me to sit in the kayak, and I can pull, adjust my anchor, and swing around in the currents to get the right direction I want to fish at. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to open this up, make sure we got all of our parts, and I'll go through them. Okay, Shalimar Bob back here with you. As you can see, I've got the pack opened up. Now this is the heavy duty Yak Attack, and it has backing plates here that you can use to drill all the way through your yak and then screw into here to make it even stronger. I'm not going to do that because this is not my first one I put on, and my other one is not pulled out by just attaching it on. So I'm just going to do the easy installation and not put the HD backing on it. But basically, here's your LeverLok. It goes on there like that, and then this is going to go on a rope, and it'll come up here and get tied, and then you can lock it in here with this. These are the pulleys that go on the front and the back, and then this is your guides to keep it from traveling up, and the cord goes through here and through the pulleys, and you can just pull it along. And after I'm done, you'll see how it all works. And here's all the screws that have got to be done. Next time I'm going to get all the tools set up and show you exactly what we need to complete this installation. We'll be back in a minute. Now, you really don't need many tools to install this. You need a drill. You're going to need a drill, a 1/8 inch drill bit. Right there, a Phillips screwdriver, a pin or a marker to mark your hole location, and I use blue painter's tape to lay everything out, stick it to the kayak, make sure I got my alignment and everything taped up. Everything is perfect before I mark my holes. Just a thought you might want to use. And then also, there's two trains of thought. Some people use silicone on the screws to seal them. I like using thread locker. This is Permatex thread locker. It's blue, and it just holds the screws in. Since I'm not going all the way through to the backer plate, I use a thread lock. I don't use the silicone. I have in the past, but I didn't really find it do any difference. And here's the screws that I'm going to be using, and I'll be using those in my pulleys to here. And I'm going to get them laid out on the canoe, or excuse me, on the kayak. And then I am going to show you how I got it all laid out. And then I'll come back and we'll start drilling and putting this thing together. Got any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'd be glad to answer them. I know it's a little scary drilling into your kayak, especially when you pay a lot of money for them. But it's really no big deal. I just don't like going all the way through and leaving a source of ingress for water. So I only go in, and this Predator 13 from Old Town Angler is a very nice yak. It's very thick, and I had no problems with it. So I'll be right back. Okay, as you notice, that's my forward pulley, and then that's my LeverLok, where you lock it in. And if you notice, there's my rear pulley. Okay, now if you notice my LeverLok there, the reason I selected it there was because it's easy to get at while I'm seated. See, I'm seated here, and I can reach down with my hand and operate it when I'm sitting in the seat. So that was the main thing I'm putting it with here. Plus, you know, you got to look at your surfaces here. Are they contoured? You know, what's the best way to do it? But whatever it is, you want a straight line running to your other pulleys. And then we'll put some line guides on somewhere right in here and here in a little bit. But I think this is one of the key features, is deciding where you want this, so as you're sitting in your seat, you can reach down with your hand and grab your line and reposition your kayak to the best fishing position you got. Alright, we're fixing to drill some holes. That was it. Ooh, that was quick and easy. Alright, our second screw's in. And you notice, we're pretty level. Now we're going to go back to the rear when we're going to do it. I'm not going to show you each little screw this time, but I'll show you when I'm done with it. See you in a few. Okay, I don't know if I mentioned it, but I don't want to drill the screws too deep, so I'm using a cheap man's drill depth gauge and just a piece of blue painter's tape. I put the screw up here that I wanted, and I gave it a little bit shorter than the length of the screw. That way it gets a little bit of grip. And I put that on there as a guide, so I know exactly how deep I want to drill my holes. Didn't know if I covered that. Okay, as you notice, our second one's on, the rear one. And of course, we got to do our LeverLok next. And there's the front one. All done. They're pretty secure. They're not coming out. I know a lot of people have asked on Amazon, which is where I buy all my stuff from, whether they're strong enough to hold up. Yes, they are strong enough to hold up. I have one on the other side that I've used for years. As you can see. And I've never had a problem with it. It's still strong today as it was when I put it on. I'm adding this one on because it gives me more option depending on the current. I'll be able to anchor in the best casting position that I can. Alright, now we're going to come up and we're going to do our LeverLok and get it level, straight, and then we'll drill it. We'll get it level, straight, then we'll drill it. Alright, see you in a few. Okay, those last screws we did were number 6s. Okay, these are the number 7s according to the guide and instructions. So I had to readjust my depth guide. And as you can see right there, it is. Of course, I didn't go all the way, you know, like I should have. No, because I want a little bit more grip as I force it into it. But that'll get the screw started. And with the thread locker, that's going to give me a nice tight hold. Alright, as you can see, our hole's not very big. I mean, we're only talking 1/8 of an inch drill bit. So we're not really making that big of a hole. But hey, it is a hole in our kayak. And you know what hole means? Water can get in. Alright, we've got one screw in. And there's our LeverLok. Our cord to go through there. And when we want to lock it down, it squeezes the cord and stops from moving around. Even though I hardly ever use the LeverLok when I'm out fishing. It seems that once I get the kayak positioned the way I want, it just stays there. But you could always lock it down and make sure that you've got the LeverLok in the right position you want it in. We're going to go ahead and put the other screw in, and then we'll start stretching cord. That's the next big thing we got to do, is stretch our cord and get it adjusted. We'll show you that in a second. Okay, if you notice right here, you can see right up there at the lip is where our LeverLok comes down and grips the cord between the top here and the bottom and holds it tight. And then when we back it up, it moves it up. Back it down, move it up. Alright, you ready to put the cord on? Let's get the cord on and see how she looks. Okay, as you're feeding your cord through, you may not be able to get it to slide through there very easily, depending on the end of your cord, how it looks. One option you can always do is loosen your screws up. Pop it out a little bit, pop it up from the bottom, get it up in there, it'll go. Tighten your screws back down. You may want to put more Loctite on them, you may not need to. Just depends on how long it was before you realize your mistake. Me, I had no problem sliding mine through there. Other people have. You see, you just lose your screws up. You're good to go. Alright, now if you notice, I've pulled my cord through both the eyelets. I haven't tied it off yet, but I gotta look and see that parallel, how it's running. It looks pretty dang good. I got a nice line. Yeah, I probably gotta take slack out of this one a little bit more, but that's no problem. I'll adjust that and tie it. They tell you in the instructions to leave you a little bit of slack so you could tighten later and retie. I still have slack in my other one after, a couple years. I've never taken it out. It doesn't bother me. But this is where you hook your anchor on right here. It's got a little clip feature up there where it holds it tight, snug, and you pull it out, and then your anchor line will go here. You can pull it, as you can see, to the back, which swing your kayak, depending on the currents, around to the right. You can pull it to the front, and it'll swing your kayak around to the left, depending on the currents. And when you're done, you just put it back up in there, and you can lock it down. It won't go nowhere. This is the best thing since sliced cheese, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, if you do a lot of kayak fishing, you really need one of these. And you need them on both sides, because there's a lot of places that you'll get into that on one side you just can't get the kayak position depending on the current and the conditions of that day exactly where you want it for your prime casting area. So that's why I'm adding this second one to my other side, because now I can, no matter what the conditions are, whether it's rough, it's smooth, tide going in, tide going out, I can get this kayak exactly where I want it for my positioning. One thing I need to show you though is on these, as you notice, this is the top. Your line needs to go down and come here because this is the top, and same on your front one. Your front one needs to come in and go down. Okay, I'm going to give it a quick adjustment here in a minute, and then we're going to go ahead and install our guides. Now what these guides are is they hold it in place and they keep the cord, these guides hold it in place and keep the cords from getting tangled up. You got two screws there that holds them, and it'll slide around, but it won't allow it to get tangled up. So we'll do that in a minute once we get the cord adjusted the way we really want it. Be right back. Alright, as you notice, I've got my cord tied up. You can see the knot I put on there. And it's pretty tight. That's about what you want it. Now, Yak Attack gives you a bunch of cord that you don't need. I guess it's for different size kayaks. I'm going to leave about that much extra. That hanging down is not going to hurt me in that water. In case I have to tighten this up later, I'll be able to have plenty of room to cut it. But it shouldn't be that bad. As you can see, we've cut it. It's not that much. A little bit. Allow some slack so we can adjust it later on. The ends may fray. I haven't had that problem, but you could always take a torch or lighter and burn the ends of them, stop them from fraying. I haven't had that problem. I ain't seen that problem. Alright, now we're going to put on the guides. And I'm probably going to go just about halfway in between them and put the guide in to keep them. We'll be right back. Alright, if you notice there's holes drilled there, and what this does is you can see there's a little cord there, guide, to guide the top of my yak. And what it does is just holds that in alignment. So what I want to do is just get it on there like that, screw it in, and then that way it'll hold that top cable, which is guiding everything else, into where it's supposed to be. So now I got the screw in. As you notice, it's holding this one tight because of the slot into it. And this one here allows the anchor to pull down, but doesn't allow it to come up and get caught into it. So I'm not going to get it tangled up. It can come up here, but it's not going to get caught and tangled into it. I just want to make sure this one's pretty well parallel, and then I'll go ahead and put the second screw in. Alright, if you notice, I went about halfway well, maybe not quite halfway, from my rear pulley to my LeverLok. It's pretty close to half, maybe not quite. I just estimated, do what you decide. Now I've got 2 more of them, and I could put 2 more up there, but I think I'm only going to go 1. You really don't need that many of them. They're just guides, and it really doesn't help much. I don't think they're necessary to have 3 of them on the side, depending on the length of the kayak. I guess you can put them on if you want to. I only put 2 on, and I'm more than happy with them. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as you can tell, yeah, I have some parts left over. These screws are if you're going to use the backing plates to make it stronger, as they call HD, which is, you know, hard insulation. I don't think you need it. I never had a problem with it, and I'm not doing it. I did have 2 of the guides left over, but I really don't think I need it on my kayak. Depending on the length of the kayak, those are the HDs where you can put them in and make them really, really strong. But you have to be able to get to the back side of your kayak to be able to do that. I can't. So I wouldn't do it. I do have the little extra screws left over because I didn't use all these. But as you notice, there's the finished product. Now, it looks pretty good. If you come over here, you can see that this is where my anchor line will hook up. I can pull it down, and I can rotate it. As you can see, goes all the way back, stops. And that's where my anchor line will be out back. Bring it back the other way. And it goes all the way up to the front. I didn't go all the way to the front, but I could have. And then when I'm done, I just lock it back up, and it's done. Now, let's talk about anchors. You really don't need a big, heavy anchor. I find in the cheapest, because I'm a cheap guy, Sean or Bob don't like spending money. But hey, right there. That is a little 5-pound weight. I bought that at the dollar store, I think, for $1.98. Can't remember. But it was cheap. It didn't cost me hardly jack. And 5 pounds will hold me in most currents here in Florida, especially in beautiful Shalimar, Florida. I get underneath the Shalimar Bridge, and it holds me in the current whether the tide's coming in or coming out. And all I do is hook it up. Depending on the depth, I can adjust it. You don't need to spend a lot of money. As you notice, look at my cart. My cart hauler. That's homemade. I have another video showing how I made it, how I modified it, and why I did it. Of course, the pipes and everything I got from Lowe's. The wheels from Harbor Freight. Threaded axle from Lowe's, and I got a lot of miles on that thing. I just pick it up and walk it. I live about a block from the water, so I walk it over and I go fishing all the time. Just love it. You can't get no better than that. Also, I got other videos on how I modified my old milk crate that I bought. It's rod holders. I've also got my camera mount that I put up there when I'm fishing. And I've also got my all-around light, anchor light, mounted up there. And of course it holds all my other stuff. That's also another video. When I catch fish, I put them in good old Sam's Club bag, freezer bag, which I keep full of ice. Keep it on here, slap the fish in there, they stay real good. Alright, so this is Shalimar Bob, beautiful Shalimar, Florida. I'm signing out. I hope you enjoyed how easy it is to put this yak attack anchor trolley on your boat. It's not hard. Very easy. If I wouldn't have been filming it, I could probably done it in about 15 minutes. Well, maybe half an hour. Even though filming it probably still took me about an hour and a half. It just don't get much better than that, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, if you like my channel, please subscribe to it. Follow me. I plan to have a whole